Welcome to part three of the You Are Chosen series. This part is about James, son of Zebedee. We're going to look at how God called him, why he was called, and the very reason why God wanted to take him through that transformation journey in him being called and chosen by Jesus. Okay, so let's read um Mark chapter 1 from verse 19 to 20. So it says, when he had gone a little farther, he saw James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John in the boat, preparing their nets. Without delay, he called them, and they left their father Zebedee in the boat with the hired men and followed him. So that's how James was called. He was also at his place of work. Jesus saw him, chose him, called him. Now the question is, I'm sure there were other fishermen, other people also around at that time who were also like working, catching fish. Why was it James? Why did it have to be James and his brother out of everybody else? What was so important in the life of James that he was chosen, that he was called? Okay, so we're going to see that in this very interesting and also funny story. And it's in the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 51 to 54. As the time approached for Jesus to be taken up to heaven, Jesus resolutely set out for Jerusalem, and he sent messengers on ahead who went into a Samaritan village to get things ready for him. But the people there did not welcome him because he was heading for Jerusalem. When the disciples, James and John, that's James the son of Zebedee, saw this, when they saw the people that did not welcome Jesus, they asked, Lord, do you want us to call fire down from heaven to destroy them? But Jesus turned and rebuked them. Then he and his disciples went to another village. So that's the story of James. James was very intense and zealous. This means he had so much energy and enthusiasm for the ministry. For anyone that did not believe in Jesus, they were ready to call down fire from heaven. This shows how much energy and passion he brought to his work. Because the moment that happened, he saw those people as an obstacle. And it's like, this obstacle has to go. Master, should I call down fire? And the fact that he believed that it was going to happen if Jesus gave the go ahead. They were ready to bring down fire on an entire village. That's a lot of passion. That's a lot of energy. That's what Jesus saw when he called James. He saw a man that was going to bring that passion and energy and enthusiasm to the work. And Jesus needed that. In fact, there's a description that Jesus gave to James and his brother. And this was in Mark chapter 3, verse 17. Jesus called them sons of thunder. That's a very energetic description, right? Sons of thunder, right? So James was very passionate. He had a lot of energy, and his passion needed work as well, right? It needed refining. Needed refining. So Jesus saw that, but he did not reject that passion. He did not reject that energy, that zeal. He did not reject it. Instead, he needed it, and he took James on a journey to transform that energy into something good where he's able to do good works with it, not bring down fire on an entire village, right? And then the good thing is Jesus prepared him, for the time when he would not be with him anymore. After Jesus resurrected, and it was just the disciples going about the mission work. They were ready, right? um they were ready because we don't see any part in the Bible where James called down fire on anyone, right? So it means they were ready. They had received the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit was moving through them and using that passion that he had, that energy, that zeal to do God's work, using that to produce even more good works, right? So do you see yourself in the life of James? Are you someone that is very, very passionate about whatever it is you're doing? Like once you pick up something, you have the passion for it, you're going, go, 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 you're on the move. Any obstacle in your path is like, you're out, you're out, you're out. So much energy. That's what God needs. He sees it and He needs it. And He wants to take you on a journey to transform that energy, to refine it, to make it better, where you don't see obstacles, but you see opportunities, for people to believe. So you're not asking the question of how do I get rid of this obstacle? It's, you are submitting that energy to God, that zeal, that passion to say, God, how can you move in the lives of these people so that they begin to see what I see about you? They believe in all the things that I believe about you. Now you're praying for them. The energy you would have used to, just destroy something, get something out of the way. God is able to um, keep that energy and make it still and submissive to His ways. Where now you're praying about someone, or you are seeking their needs and wanting to meet their needs. Right? These are the ways that God is able to refine, and someone that has a lot of intense energy and passion, as we see in the life of James, right? So God refines fiery passion into sacrificial devotion. I think that's really beautiful, right? I love how God is able to refine any character trait and bring out something so beautiful and precious from it. So if you see yourself in the life of James, you're someone very passionate, so much energy, right? Go read about James, read about his journey as a disciple, his transformation journey. And yeah, so that's why Jesus chose James, and I'm really happy for James that he believed, and that fiery passion was transformed into sacrificial devotion. Yay. Okay, happy for James. Okay, so the next disciple that we are going to look at is John. Yeah. So that's in part 4 of the Your Chosen series. We are going to be looking at the life of John. What was so special about John? What did God want to do with John, in the life of John, in his kingdom? What was the bigger picture that this character trait about John mapped to? Yeah, we're going to look at that in part 4 of the Your Chosen series. So see you there.